Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I am so glad that you stopped by. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna walk you through and show you the different varieties of broccoli, cauliflower, collards, as well as some cabbages that we're gonna grow for the spring. And I'm gonna also take you into the garage and we're gonna seed start them together. So let's get started. All right, friends, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for the spring garden. As much as I'm getting ready for the summer garden, and I am looking forward to that, there's something about spring that gets me excited. So first thing I like to do is check all of my binders with my seed packets that have not been opened yet, and check my baskets of seeds that I have already used and pick the varieties that I want to grow this year. I did make a video of my seed organization and I will leave that in the description below if you'd like to check that out. But the way I like to organize my seeds is I put the newer and unused seed packets in the binders, and then seed packets that I have already used, I put those in baskets that you're going to see here. And that way I know what has already been used and I can take note of the varieties that I liked and the ones that I did not like. This also helps me to keep track of how many seeds I have and if I need to reorder any at all. And for the spring garden, I did buy a couple of new varieties that I cannot wait to grow. The next thing I'd like to do is put what I'm growing into this new software that I've been using called Seedtime. While I like writing things down on paper with pen and pencil and still plan to do that, I've been enjoying the software as I've shared on my seed starting videos because I can have specific calendars for specific vegetables, and once I plug it in as you see me doing here, it lays everything out of what I need to do and when to do it. And because I have expanded my garden over the last couple of years, this will help me to stay on track. However, as I've said before, I do love my paper and pen because I not only plan, but I also journal, which helps me to remember things from year to year and take notes. And while the software does have a journal section and even a layout section where you can map out your garden on the computer, I still plan to use paper and pencil. I may venture out in that part of the Seedtime software with journaling and layouts, but right now I'm focusing more on the calendars. And there is a link in the description below if you are interested in checking out Seedtime. By the way, I am curious, is there a particular way that you like to map out, journal, or plan your garden? Leave them in the comments below. I like to hear what others do to plan out their garden as well as journal. All right, let's grab our seeds and let's go into the garage and we're going to seed start all of these together. Here I'm pulling out a tray of already filled pots of soil. I like to get this ready a day or two before I plant, so I'm not doing everything all at once because I don't always have a lot of time. And then I'm just going to spray the top of the soil to help with planting the seeds. Now let's go over the seeds that we were going to plant. And by the way, this container is from the Dollar Tree and I'm really liking it so far. So the first one is a loofah gourd. I am planting this late, but I've never planted these, and because I have a longer growing season, I'm just going to try. Next are bunching onions. I bought this from the Dollar Tree and I want to see how these do, even though I'm past starting onions. Then we have the Hamburg rooted parsley. I've never grown this, so I am looking forward to trying this in the garden this year. And the next one is the Romanesco broccoli. I have yet to grow this, so I'm hoping I get a good harvest this year because it looks like a lot of fun to grow and especially eat. And then my tried and true Bellstar F1 from Territorial Seed. I really enjoy this broccoli, and this does very well in my garden. Then the Desico broccoli. This is another one that does very well in my garden, and I'm looking forward to growing this again as well, especially in the green stalks. And the next one is the Waltham 29. This one is kind of new, but also does pretty good for me in the garden. Now, some of these are the new seeds. This one is the Imperial F1 hybrid broccoli. I wanted to venture out with some of the hybrids to see if they do better in my garden. And also a Monty F1 hybrid broccoli as well. Not only do I like to grow my tried and true, but I also like to venture out and experiment with different varieties. Now for some of the cauliflower varieties. I'm going to grow some more twister, even though I have this in my winter garden. And I'm also trying self-blanching cauliflower to see if I do better with this, because the snowball variety that I always try growing every year never seems to germinate for me. This is also a new hybrid seed I bought called Flamestar F1 cauliflower, and another cauliflower hybrid called Song with a bunch of numbers and letters. And then the last hybrid cauliflower is called Fujiyama, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm looking forward to trying these. Plus, I want to experiment to see which varieties do better this year. Now for the cabbages. This is Savory Perfection, which is still new for me. I do have a few out in the winter garden that I've already started growing, but I'm going to plant some more seeds. And the Mammoth Red Rock is also new for me. I've had a hard time growing red cabbages, so I'm hoping this variety works well. And this next one, the Early Jersey Wakefield, did phenomenal last year in my garden, which is why I'm growing it again. And the Copenhagen also did very well for me, which is why I'm growing that again as well. Now, the 1 kilo bolt cabbage, I've never grown this before, but just like bok choy, broccoli rabe, and Napa cabbage, they always seem to bolt on me. So I'm hoping this one will work. This one excites me. This is a hybrid cabbage called Stonehead. I have a few starts that look gorgeous that I put out into the garden a little bit ago, but I'm going to grow some more just to be safe for backups. And I did get some hybrid cabbages. This one is a Promise F1 green cabbage. This next one is a hybrid Ruby Perfection red cabbage. So we'll see how these do. And for the next set of seeds are collards. Now, I've never grown collards, but because I enjoy broccoli leaves and cabbage, I figured I should definitely try these. So I got Vates collards, Georgian Southern, of course, a hybrid called Cash Crop, and another one called Flash, and then Champion. Real quick, this seed packet is completely empty and I did not know that it was. And this is why I write the word done or almost done on my seed packets, and I forgot to do this one. Now I'm going to grab my tags and label it with the Sharpie marker and get those in the pots. That's the first thing I always do before I plant so that I don't get anything confused or switched up, because a lot of these seeds look very alike. One of my favorite things to do is seed start. It's very relaxing for me and it just gets me really excited because that means I'm getting back into the garden, warmer weather, sunshine, and lovely, beautiful vegetables and flowers that are going to grow in the garden again. And let me know in the comments what you're growing this spring. I enjoy hearing what others grow and the varieties that work best for them, because then it piques my curiosity to maybe try a variety that I've never heard before or grown. This I've shared on my seed starting videos before, and all it is a garden staple. And what I like to do with this is make 4 indentations in the pot as even as possible so that when I plant the seeds in each indent, it spaces the plant. It makes it a little bit easier for me when I need to separate or up pot them. And all of this is a paintbrush because I want to plant more seeds per pot. So I'm making a small indentation right in the very middle. And side note, I love having the paintbrush because of how skinny the stick is, but also the brush helps to brush off aphids if there's a plant or two that has them. Now, because these seeds are larger, they needed to be planted a bit deeper because they're wide. So I'm using this tool to make sure they are. And I really like this tool. It's pretty much a dibbler with a handle on it. It's one of my new favorite tools. Now, this tape that I'm showing you, I've shared this before in my other seed videos, as well as my seed organization video. It is a resealable tape by Scotch. I do have that in the description under my Amazon products if you are interested in getting that. This has been very helpful because some seed packets lose their stickiness and doesn't seal back up, and this helps me to make sure I don't lose seed. And you can see by me opening it and closing it that it doesn't rip the seed packet. And the soil that I use and I've always used is the Bacto soil. Unfortunately, you cannot get the soil at the big box stores, but I do have a link in the description where you can plug in your zip code and find the nearest store or nursery that sells it. Now, something I want to mention are the pots and trays that I'm using. I haven't actually talked about what I use, but these are Bootstrap Farmer trays. When I started gardening, I wanted something that I did not have to keep buying every year or two. And so I looked up different trays, did some investigating, and came across this brand a lot as I watched YouTube videos, and it definitely has not let me down. I'm going on my 3rd year of using them, and they've stayed solid. They haven't ripped or buckled on me. And I've had these outside, and they still have held up very well. Now, I've only had them outside when I needed to harden off the plant, so it's not like they're out there months on end every day, but they're very good. And I recently just bought a couple of other different trays that I plan to use in my next seed starting video. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't have any affiliate codes. They're just really good trays. Now, all I'm doing is brushing some soil over the indentations with the end of that paintbrush to cover the seed. And then you're going to see me take a little bit of soil and cover the tops to make sure that the seeds are completely covered well. And the reason I have a glove on is because I still have to handle other seed packets and I didn't want to get my hands dirty yet. Then I spray the tops with my sprayer of water to get the seed acclimated to the soil, cover it with my dome, and then place it onto my seed rack. The next set of seeds that we're going to plant together are going to be different varieties of Swiss chard. This is one of my favorite vegetables to grow because of how delicious they are and how versatile they are in the kitchen. So the first one that we have here, I purchased from the Dollar Tree. That is just a mixed color of Swiss chard. And of course, some hybrids. Now, I did buy some new Swiss chard seeds this year as well. And so this one is the Firebird F1, and this next one is the Charbel F1. And the next ones I purchased from Seed Savers Exchange, and this is the 5-color silver beet. So this one is also new for me. And this has to be one of my favorite Swiss chards, the Ford Hook Giant. It grows so well in my garden and it grows very tall. And then it's Ford Hook Giant again, but it's from Seed Savers. I wanted to compare the two. And then we have Chismahoo, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. It just looks delicious and I wanted to try a different Swiss chard. And the rest of these are all the many different colors. There's orange Swiss chard. Then we have the ruby red Swiss chard. This is a gorgeous Swiss chard. Beautiful color. Then we have the yellow Swiss chard. And then this very last one, I'm more than likely going to pronounce it wrong. It's Luculus Swiss chard. It just looked so beautiful, so I had to grow it. And something I want to quickly share is just a little bit of encouragement. If you're new to gardening or have been gardening for a while and you've had difficulty seed starting, just know that even I have had difficulty in seed starting, and all you have to do is keep trying and try again and try again. Because there's something about starting your own seed and growing it yourself in your garden that is beyond rewarding. Now, I'm not against buying seed starts because I personally buy seed starts myself, but I've also started seed and I've had quite a bit of failures, but I've also had a lot of success. And I'm really glad that I stuck with it because I enjoy it so much and it has helped save money in the long run on my grocery budget. I will also add that the bottle in the background that you see from Fox Farm, the Grow Big, that is the fertilizer that I use to water my seedlings. I only use half of the strength for seedlings that is required on there in the very beginning. And then I use the exact amount that it tells me to use when they're a little bit more grown and developed. I have had great experience with this brand. I've also recently just bought some soil by this brand that I'm going to be testing out. Not that I don't like the Bacto soil that I shared with you and that I've been using, but I want to try other brands of soil as well. And I'm sure you can see that I have a huge array of different seed companies that I purchase from. I don't have a specific reason as to why I do that. I've just enjoyed all of these seeds from different companies, which is why I continue to purchase from them. Now, something I've learned as a gardener in my own experience, as well as observing other people garden, is how everyone has developed their own techniques that works best for them. And that's something that I've appreciated about gardening because not everything has to be done the same way. Plus, as a gardener, and I can speak for myself, is I have learned how to do something by absorbing as much knowledge as I can, whether from videos, books, or articles. I then, in my own way, Megan's way, have made it fit to my style of gardening and what works best for me. And that's why gardening is not black and white. There's a lot of gray areas in gardening. Now, there's definitely do's and don'ts, but it's a constant learning, growing, and experiencing as I have taken my garden journey. And I hope with this video and with all my videos is that when you all watch me, I want you to be encouraged and think if she can do it, I can do it, because no one taught me any of this growing up. I was just determined and wasn't taking no for an answer. Gardening is truly a joy, and I want to express that to all of you that watch because I want you all to experience the same joy as me. So friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And always remember, friends, be encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.